So the red Hilux automatic has returned. And before we get really serious under the bonnet, I thought I'd do a bit of testing and checking just to confirm where I'm at. So this truck is displaying symptoms of not enough fuel. It's running a bit lean. And we bumped up the fuel pressure artificially to make it go good enough for him to get away on his family holiday. And he's brought it back for us to work on it and sort the issues out. I've exposed the ECU to do the first test of whether the ECU is holding power. Let's have a look. So I have it sitting there, powered up. I start the truck and I'm turning it off. The engine stopped. One, there we go. And that stayed on for a few seconds just then. So that point is working like it should. So that makes me pretty happy. But when I started it from cold this morning, it stalled. It didn't have its proper idle up. So if I pop under the bonnet, pop into that one there, we have voltage, and that's on the same output as the IAC. And it turns off directly with the key. That is not correct. It's half right. So it looks like I'm going to have to spend a couple of moments in here trying to decipher what's going on and make it shut down like it should. And when you unplug it and the plug all starts to fall apart, that does not make me happy. So it looks like I'm changing a plug as well. No, I can do it. I can do it from here.
Okay.
You did the cutting of the wire to identify it. I've done the twisting and taping it back together. Well, I've got to now decipher all that crap that's inside. Hey.
There's no power there.
You know what it needs?
What's that?
The ECU plugged in.
I've got to plug the ECU in it. Yeah, wait. See this square middle box?
There's a lack of continuity. I've got to change that other plug yet too. It kind of annoyed me. I have to change that plug that's falling apart. That one.
This one?
Yeah. Got to pick all the pins out and change it over. It's not nice, eh?
It's beautiful.
Mm.
Plug this one in today. There you go.
That'll go. You solved it for me.
Still no power there.
It's because the key isn't turned on now.
Oh, we've got power.
Ooh. Did you... Now the stepper needs to work. Can you just double check it in the stepper plug? Seeing we've got the stepper plug unplugged? Yeah. No, don't plug it in. Check the power there first. Just to confirm that they haven't done anything dumb with the wiring. Just pays to double check. Send it to any of the center too. Oh, look at that. Yep, let's plug that in. Your gorilla full of fingers going to get in there?
Doesn't click in.
Nah, we'll put a new plug on it when we're doing it, eh?
So we're rewiring it, are we?
No, but when we get the injectors out, we're going to break all the plugs we undo.
It's already broken.
They're all going to snap and break. So
they're already broken. We already know they're broken.
Yeah, so. Do it. And we'll probably put some bearings in that stepper. We'll just try and learn it. Trying. Did you hear any noise? It's not very much noise though, eh? It's not like a nice strong one. I would say that hasn't been working properly. And the bearings are funny. Now we've got a proper reset of that stepper, and it's idling much nicer. The idles come up. Now, when I say I'm doing a relearn on the stepper, I'm not actually doing a relearn. It's the wrong word. I should actually be saying reset, though old habits die hard. These are actually a dumb system, and I'm not meaning that they're dumb as in it's a stupid system. I'm meaning dumb as in it just gets fed a number of steps effectively, and it gives it an idle speed. So it doesn't always compensate well if there's an air leak or things like that, because it's just sitting at a normal, just a number of steps, rather than compensating for a lot of different things. Yes, there's an idle up for the air conditioning, but again, it's just a number of steps. There's no like proper feedback system in the early ones, and that catches a lot of guys out. And also things like this, that just, they don't reset properly, and then they don't idle properly, and then guys aren't clever enough to fix it, so they take the idle speed off. And I kind of laugh at that, because the systems work really well. Even though it's dumb, it still works really, really well. With that done, we're going to organise some parts, and we're going to hook this thing to bits. I've shown pulling intake manifolds off and injectors and all that stuff so many times. So we'll just do a couple of highlights as we go through, a couple of updates. Haven't actually worked out whether I'm doing it or Jason's doing it yet. And I know who's tidying up around the ECU, because he wanted just to cut it all out.
Give me scissors. You gave me scissors. You gave me the scissors.
I did, but that was diagnostic scissors.
Yeah, I diagnosed the wiring loom.
Yep.
Needs to be fixed.
You had to cut between this, like, a couple of joints. On the joint, before that joint, and there was the other joints.
Sort of like bomb disarming.
Yeah, it is.
Cut the right wire.
Gotta cut the right wire. Now, the wire was sort of taped up and trying to make it look somewhat under control. As you can see, I've unraveled it to expose that wire. So I swapped it, power supply onto there, job done. But there was a joint here, down to a joint here. There's a joint here to here, and this one went down. I was on this one, and there's a joint here. It ain't pretty. No, not pretty. And I'll be changing that plug, of course. Right, into it.
They're all loose.
They're loose because everything lets go, isn't it? Hey, were you in there with a vacuum cleaner?
No.
I missed it, eh?
No vacuum cleaner. That's always been there.
He was definitely doing some vacuuming.
No vacuuming.
You just don't want your missus to see.
I know nothing about the vacuum cleaner. It wasn't me, it was your brother. Your brother was in here with the vacuum cleaner. That was really, can you get that ones?
Did you say there was one missing?
Yeah, this one. Well, it's not there.
It's not there. Just get a new one. I got new ones.
Where are they?
In the box of nuts and bolts.
It's still over here.
Yeah. How'd you find those injectors? Injectors. Oh, look, the bottom gaskets are mint, aren't they? Pretty much when those gaskets start rusting and delaminating, it's time to throw them away.
This box over here.
Yeah, that box there. The ones with the bolts with the little seal on that are cheaper than just the seals. Because you can just buy the whole bolt with the seal on cheaper. Yeah, those.
Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense, doesn't it? And we probably want to cover up all those holes. I should actually build some covers. We should have some proper manifold covers built up, eh? So you can change the injector plugs and change all the broken plugs. Because it'll be easier than when the manifold's on.
It's your job tomorrow.
I reckon that's your job today, actually. I reckon it's much better for you to do today.
I'm cleaning manifolds and sorting out all the other little bits and pieces.
Shall I go get some plugs for you? Oh no, you can find them yourself.
Gently.
Cool. I'm going back to my job. If you got this sorted today, I could use it to tow the boat on the weekend. Test it. I don't think we're going to make it. You gotta love these injectors that come out and the seals are like rock hard. Rock hard, man.
They're mint.
They are mint, alright.
No, I thought it was anything.
We're doing good caveman today.
Caveman. Still squishes. See, look. See, there's cracks of factory.
What I think is really funny is when guys get the new ones and they don't have the little, they're just flat and they're like, it doesn't have the little lips on them. Well, it's because they're old and stuffed. Did it come out?
What come out? That?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 pieces. There's now vice grip marks on there.
Oh, got it. It's got some new plugs on it. I'm quite fond of plugs, aren't I?
Yeah.
He's been giving me shit today because I've got a couple of plugs.
It's a plug problem. Plug fit.
I've got a couple of plugs arrived. Like boxes and boxes from the real place, not from the China, from the real place. The real ones. I'm actually down to I'm on to my last 300 injector plugs.
Oh no.
I'm going to have to get some more ordered. So it's already going back together. He's been hammering away. For some reason he's decided to put the injectors in after the manifold, which I think is probably a mistake. I think it's far easier to put the injectors in on the manifold as one piece.
I'll do it the fucking way I want, okay?
You can do it any way you want. I'm not going to stop you. And then you'll say, I told you so.
No.
You know, I'm going to say I told you so and I was right.
No. No.
You not going to admit that?
No. What I'm trying to find is a can of lubricant.
Lube definitely makes it go in easier. Hey Jace, you forgot to put the injectors in.
Oh, it was running.
I think we cheated and just put some new ones in. They're a bit yucky in there, eh? We talked about the blue silicon on the gaskets. We found it in the idle speed control unit as well. Gravity's working.
Also on the front diff.
What? There's silicon on the front diff as well?
Yep.
Oh, neat. Jason, when he put some new bearings into the idle speed control unit. We flicked out the other housing and we blocked up, so the pipes are blocked up properly. We just swapped them around. Oh, there's the bearings I was looking for. How many of them have I done? I didn't think we did 3 of them last week. Like all over the forums, these guys saying about the EFI 10 sensor. How many do we actually have fail? Bugger all. Because we replace them. And then they don't cause a problem. It's only 25 years old.
There you go, problem solved.
Bearings, noisy. There were some connectors.
I just picked them up, threw them in the bin.
Oh, you just threw all the connectors away?
Yeah, there's one. I also got a
That's actually got a clip on it. Oh, not for long though. And a heap of connectors changed. So it just fired up for the first time since it's had this work done. And other stuff, look, nice and supple instead of being hard as a rock. Heap of connectors down here. We've done all the injector connectors, coil connector, the 2 connectors down in there, the 6-pin and the 4-pin. Just slowly working our way through getting a bit better. that was sealed back in properly because it actually just pulled out. And of course with the wiring sorted into the ECU, it's going to be better as well. Oh, oxygen sensors. So on the single wire ones, you don't have to have anything flash, just like a universal single wire oxygen sensor is going to be fine. When it's a 4-wire, I do recommend the proper sensor, and they're not actually very dear if you know where to look. I've got them in stock and I sell a heap of them. So, but single wire like this, which is mainly JDM, not so much in the US market, but JDM, the early ones ran a single wire sensor. This sounds a little bit lumpy, eh? Can you just whip some plugs out and have a quick look at some plugs on one side? The easy side.
Out.
Standard E plugs, and they're one heat range too cold. What are we going to do?
Put the correct plugs in it?
Just go get a set of iridiums. Slam a set of iridiums in it. Just run over the leads quickly while you're doing it. Multimeter those leads. That should solve the lead misfire, Jason. Brand spanking new ones. While we were in here, Jace found a couple of leads that were stuffed as well, so we'll sort that. These do look like the original leads, are they? So these ones have, oh yep, there's a date. It says 1991. So it's got this far with the stock standard leads on it, so it makes sense to put another set of stock standard leads on it. But we'll suddenly make it a 2019. Still have to do the wiring by the ECU. Are you keen?
That was your department.
I know.
You told me when you go further back in this video, you didn't have any about any of the scissors. That's your department. You
Yeah.
want me to cut one wire, and that's all I'm allowed to do. And it's on video. We have video evidence. You're also the editor, so you can delete that out.
Yeah, I think I did say that.
Yeah.
I did say I was going to do that bit of it.
Yeah.
It's probably more my department.
Yeah, you.
For training required. You can hammer out aftermarket ECUs, but this stuff's a bit more tricky, eh? It just thinks different. It thinks different. And you got to think like the last person who did it wrong.
Yeah, I can't think like that.
Yeah, that's not so easy.
No.
Temp looks good. Oil pressure looks good. What gear was that in?
Yeah, I think.
It seemed to handle it alright. It would have been nice to kick down.
Yeah.
These ones tend to be quite lazy and then kick down.
Oh, that might have been second.
No, that was the lock-up coming in just then. So you've got, as it's coming up in the gears, first, second, third, overdrive, and then there's a kick, a lock-up at the top. Go to the pig gunning.
What?
Go to the pig gunning swap. Pig gunning turnaround. Will it kick down?
Yeah. Top down in here.
That's one kick down. With a kick down switch under the pedal, it may actually kick twice. It may kick in a second, and then it'll ring its nut off. But it didn't putter out like it did in past day. There was no spluttering.
No, it would have confidence splattered and backfired it.
So that's all gone.
Yeah.
Ready for a second here? Ready?
Yep.
Did that lose traction then?
I think so.
I felt a sideways movement.
Yeah, same.
Maybe we don't want the harsh kick down.
Not in the wet, no. These big bumpy tyres on it.
That's awesome.
We've improved it then.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely coming out of overdrive
Comes out of overdrive.
into fourth. If it had the kick down switch under the pedal, it'd be second.
Sideways.
But side, yeah. Right, cool. Oh wait, this truck's going.
Yeah,
Still let him go. Yeah, we don't want to pull out in front of him.
No.
The idle seems okay. These early ECUs are a little bit prone to being a little bit inconsistent in their idle now. Yeah, we're good.
Seems adequate.
I think that's more than adequate.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing what a bit of maintenance can do.
Yeah.
Because you didn't actually do any repairs as such. Injector plugs needed repairing, but injector seals, some injectors, some leads, some spark plugs,
Yeah.
all that basic crap that often gets forgotten about. Yeah, I think these ones, if you drive it a little bit, put a little bit more input.
Yeah. It's made like, I'm flicking out overdrive, it's much happier tracking along.
Yeah, especially with four-wheel drive, big wheels,
Yeah.
and like the brakes drop well at 100 k's.
Yeah.
No, it's under $2,000 at 100. Which makes them feel a bit lazy. You know, if you put a taller, shorter diff in it, it'll make it feel a bit more fruity. But in a vehicle like this, there's a limit, as you found out. Yeah, there's potential for things to go wrong with big wheels.
Yeah.
And the auto kicking down when it wants to. Autos are never the most powerful, but it seems pretty nice to drive. Like it's smooth, it's quiet. I reckon it'd be good off road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the solid front end, got the auto. I don't know if it's got an LSD in the bump.
It does.
It does? Alright. So with an LSD in the back, air locker in the front, it goes some places with you. And it's comfy. Well, I definitely think that's been successful. Goes much nicer, no spluttering, way better. Just waiting for the guy to fix the run by the ECU.
Yeah.
And we'll give it a last. Oh, we got power economy too. We got the power economy button. That'll help with the shift too if you wanted it. Make it a bit fruity in the shift if it's wide in. You just turn the key on, I'll see if that's actually lights up, eh? There's no lighting up of the power economy, but I might check to see if that works as well while I'm in there. Well done. Another one finished, just about. I thought I'd give this just a quick tidy up, and I'm working, look, it's like, where did this extra wire come from? And there happens to be a purple wire up there that had a little tiny solder on it that's broken off. Oxygen sensors were wired together, that's wrong. Of course, this is a bit that I am sorting here. I'm going to wire in a diagnostic plug at the same time. And I've got to fix that plug there. Just swap a new one in. Though they did manage to sort the problem when on these Japanese ones, the early ones, they wire up and they just don't rev. They rev like have a really low rev cut. They managed to sort that out, but not the other stuff. I've got to get in and try and get this done as fast as I can. Just give it a quick tidy up, he says. So this is my diagnostic plug. So I've put in this little plug here to plug into my adapter. These ugly wires are mine. This is all the ugly wires I removed. Join. And there was a join there. Join by the ECU and a join there. Join to a join. Oh, particularly good there. There are a lot of them. A lot of them. And of course this broken plug did every single wire there. We've also added this little plug here, so that allows now the engine loom actually can be removed. So they've done something funny with the earths here, and they run up to this bar. That'll be fine. So we can now unplug here, unplug the ECU, unplug that earth, and that engine loom can be removed. And this body plug here goes to the body plug of the ECU, goes to the body like factory. Confirm the ECT power wire's working. There's no kick down. Guys often ask, where do we mount the ECUs? And this is actually a particularly good spot to mount it. Tucked up in there. Probably doesn't work if you've got air conditioning. This one, the air conditioning has been stripped out of it. That box is empty. That actually looks pretty good. Everything's tucked away. Diagnostic plug can be got at. I would like these to disappear, but if I was doing the loom, they wouldn't normally exist. Could probably tuck in there okay. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. And you can see with the ECU mounted behind the glove box, it does need the back of the box cut out to make it all fit. It's a little bit firm. But it is tucked up nicely. If I'm doing these jobs, I use the exact same instructions that I sell. So guys actually have the access to the same information. Some of it's in my own scribbles, but also what's going on in my head, so they can ask. My instructions come with about 20 minutes of my time, just to answer those tricky questions and go through stuff. And it will depend on what the customer needs to what we actually discuss over that time. Now I did scan this for codes. That was the point of putting the port in it. And when I bridge it, and when I check for codes, there's nothing in the engine, but there's one in the transmission side, which is code 42. Code 42 is the speed sensor from the dash. So it's meant to be up in here, and it's not there. Of course, when I'm fixing the wiring repairs, I just grab my wiring instructions, The wire isn't actually even there, so that's why it's giving that code. They run fine, they drive fine, but they do drive better with it, okay? And this one doesn't give a light on the dash. The other one is the fuel pump wires aren't going through the ECU. They're somewhere else. At this point, that wasn't in my brief to sort. But those are little things that possibly could be improved. The tacho is also a little bit out. So when I've been talking about cruising speeds, at 3000 RPM, it's only reading 2.5. So 2000 RPM cruise speed's probably more like 2.5. I think that's everything. I'm gonna go for another test drive, check it's all good, sign it off.